Welcome to Testify. Today our guest is Joseph Orodi. Joseph serves as a staff at Christ is the Answer Ministry Seatam and serves under the Bishop's office. His journey was not easy, but his trust in God helped him overcome the challenges in life.
I'm born again, and I'm also doing ministries outside Seatam, like doing evangelism and conducting some trainings to the rural pastors, which I love so much. But maybe you want to know much more about who is this Orodi, his life when he was still young. Joseph was born in a county called Siaya. I'm a Luo by tribe, and I was born as the first born child to Mzee James Orodi and Mama Mary Anyango. My mother is born again, my dad not yet, but we are praying for something to happen. My siblings are like around 5, so we are 6 in the family. One passed on, my immediate follower, and we thank God for everything. I schooled like other young and also old people schooled. I was in a school down there, a primary school called Kogeri Primary School, whereby I was just going in school like other children could do. I did not manage to finish up to class 8 in that same school. I transferred to another sub-county. Our sub-county is in Ugenya, but I transferred to another sub-county in Gem, where my mother happens to come from, in a Serembe Primary School, where I did my class 5 to class 8. I did not join the secondary school immediately due to my humble background, whereby my people did not have some coins to take me to further my studies. But since I believed in God, because since my mom was a born-again person, we were brought up in a family whereby you need to know God. I prayed, and that time I was not born again during that time, after class 8. But when I got a chance to join a secondary school, the same there, I thank God because some people came to my aid and did help me, and I finished my 4th form. After 4th form, I wanted to become an engineer, computer engineer, software to mention, but it did not materialize because things were not turning out well. I said, now I have to be a man enough now to start my life. I joined my uncle, who is the brother to my mom, in Nairobi to do some manual work. He got me a work somewhere in Lavington to be a shamba boy. To my heart, I said, Uncle, I don't want this work. I don't want this work because I want to school to further my education. He told me, no, this is what I can afford you. So in my mind, I said, this work I'll not do it past 6 months. Mark you, that's my prayer, and it came to pass. I did not do it. I happened to open a shop of making shoes, whereby I employed 2 guys to be my cobblers. I don't know if that's the name. The business, this is something rooted back to my grandfather, the father to my mom. He was a cobbler. So I learned that idea from him. And coming to Nairobi, now I was saying, do I just sit down and I have an idea of borrowed from my grandfather? So I just sought to find a kiosk somewhere with some 3,500 somewhere, and I started. That's how we started. And really, it fed many families. Like 2 of my employees, myself, I was paying my rent without any hiccups. I started going to Daystar to do some short courses in public relations, in peace and conflict resolutions, in public PR. So I did those courses there. In 2001, I came to Valley Road, where we are at, and a friend of mine invited me to join there, whereby I joined the service. But I wanted to serve God, so I said, which service can I do to help in this, the work of God? So my friend told me we are traffic marshals, so I joined them. And during that time, there was a pastor who was very tough, and her toughness was like good to me, because planted something that I can brag of today. So I joined the parking lot. We parked the members. Members came. Some were very, very abusive. I was tiny. Today I'm not that tiny. I'm a bit fat. Now, the pastor overheard the member telling us, do you have even a car? Have you even driven a bicycle? I told the member, no, I don't know even how to touch that steering wheel. So the pastor came to me slowly and told me, this is how the service is done. Don't mind about the abusive languages. So I was wondering, people coming to church and they have these things, maybe they've come out from the church. Why this to me? I wanted to leave immediately, but something came to my heart and I said, no, I'll not leave. That is 2001. 2002, I did that. Before before the flyover was built, I moved out from the parking lot. So we were helping people to cross over, like the Red Crossers, crossing over people. We raise up, there was a bow there written stop. I liked that, and I did it until 2003, doing it, and sometimes doing manual work outside. Sometimes we are working, preparing bulletins for the church, the same church sitam. 2004, Bishop's office was being created. So Mama Eda was the wife to the senior pastor then, Bishop Adoyo, and she was a very tough lady even today, but in a positive way. She approached me and called me, you are Joseph? I said yes. That time we were doing some bulletins, folding them for the Sunday. So when I went to her office, she told me, would you want to work with us closely? I said, where? I think we are working closely. So I didn't know that they were looking for somebody to be the messenger and clerk in that office. So I was called after that, she left it that way. So the then administrator, Mr. Odhiambo, approached me and called me, and Mr. Moisaka, Mrs. May Ondeng called me. They said, we would like you to serve in the bishop's office that has just been, it was now 1 month, has just been put in place. Would you mind? I said, no, I'm ready to serve the people of God. Now, 2004, I served in a basis of small salary, which I need not to mention, but I was contented with it. And it was not a permanent job by that time. I was just serving, patience was there. 2005, I served till August, when we were called for another interview. After interview, we were sent for medical exam, checkup. In 2005, I was employed. When God is in your life, things just happens even without your knowledge. When the Lord is with you, nobody can even be the blockage. So that is 2005 November. I got a letter confirming that I've been taken in as a staff with CITAM. Now, 2006, I wanted now to further my education. That time I didn't have any, I only have the certificates from DASTA, the PR, the public conflict resolution, only those which were not that relevant to my office. Only the PR was relevant to my work at the office. Now, I wanted to do something like a course called professional that can give me much bread. I used to say that. Now, I approached my boss through Mrs. Adoyo and told her I want to do driving. I told her I want to do driving. If you allow me, I will be coming to the office. We used to report to the office 6:30. 6:30. So I was requesting to be given an off around 4:34. She granted. So I joined a driving school. I did that driving school. And I didn't know that one day I'll become a driver to these men and women of God. So after that, 2006 passed, 2007, 2008, I was given a mantle to start driving. The staffs, driving, Mama Eda taking her to some engagements, preaching. With that, I started having some urge of becoming one day a minister of the gospel. And not just a minister, but a trained one. A trained one. Now, 2008, I started attending seminars. There was a school of ministry in Sitam I attended, but this was not enough for me. In 2009, I tried to apply for a Bible school, and I didn't have enough money to take me to school. I again dropped it. So I continued just driving. Bishop Adoyo was still at the helm of the leadership. 2010, we got a new bishop, that is Bishop Oginde, and also we served with him. I was not driving him directly because we have a driver called Bwananjagi, but after 2014, I became a visual driver to the presiding Bishop of Sitam. Now, 2013, I joined PAC and did a diploma in transformational church leadership. And I graduated in 2014, end of it. I have a diploma with some certificates, few of them there. Now driving the second bishop, after serving the first one, serving the second bishop now as his assistant in terms of chauffeuring him around wherever he wants to go. We just continued that way. In 2014, November, I joined a school in US of A, let me put it that way, called Global University in Missouri State, whereby it was a correspondent and also online. I didn't attend physically. It was online classes and also correspondence, which I was doing it, and with my work, my work was heavy, doing it, just praying to God one day, I'll finish. And with the likes of Bishop Oginde, his diary was full. Sometimes I'm coming home tired. There is a class, we are told at this time you need to be attending a class, but the Lord was with me because as I said before, when the Lord is with you, nothing is impossible. Now, 2015, 2010, 2011, 2013, I did transformation leadership. 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. I stopped continuing my classes at Global because of fee. And I was remaining with some units to finish up. Now, I prayed to God. God, you started off this thing with me. And now I don't have school fee. What do I do? Do I stop it completely, or what do I do? And this is your work. 2017, when we were doing election where things were not good, I just sit somewhere and prayed. I prayed. I said, God, now I was talking to God like Jacob. I was telling God, if this is not your way or your will, let it pass and bring what it is. What is in your plan for me? Because your word tells us you have God plans for us. So 2018 comes. said this year I must go back to school and graduate. It did not happen. I went and did 1 unit only, passed. 2019 came. I did take a loan and did some courses, units, that is. And I was now nearing when God is in the things that you want to become. 2020 came. Now I was remaining with 100,000 converted, because we were paying sometimes in dollars. Converted as it was around 100. So I approached my boss and I told him, boss, you know I've been schooling. He didn't know that I was doing that. Boss, I'm remaining with this. I booked an appointment actually and went to his office. Mark, you were with him in the car, but I booked an appointment for this. After booking an appointment, I wrote an email. He was out of the country. He replied that email with the excitement, a lot of excitement, telling me, Joseph, congratulations. When I saw the word congratulations, I said, wow, I've gotten this money. And to my wow, the money came. The money came. And I thank God, because in 2021, July, I did graduate with my Bachelor's of Arts in Bible and Theology. I joined the people that are now called graduates. Now I didn't stop. I didn't stop immediately. I needed to do something to do with culture. I love learning people's culture. And I asked the same university, do you have this course? They said yes. And there's a friend of mine who sponsored some few courses there for me. So I joined. Currently, I'm about to finish again studying intercultural, second BA in intercultural studies, the same university. I did not stop. For you to know that things of God are the way he wants them to be for you if you are with him. I joined, I acquired to do masters, the same line, and I went to various universities. I settled on one, International Leadership University, just up there near Kilimani Police Station. That is our local university here. For masters, I joined, I was taken in. Currently, I'm in there doing my masters in Bible and theological studies. And to this, I just look back and I say, surely, when you put your things with God. Remember, down there, I started by saying, I came from a humble background whereby even school fee for secondary, Harambee School, my parents could not afford. And I forgot to say, my dad is an economist from Makerere University. But due to the things of the devil, my dad used to get jobs, but don't last there for 1 month or 2 because of what we call this drug called alcohol. But I'm praying for him. I'm really praying for him. But that one day he will turn and know this Lord Jesus Christ. I'm not getting tired about this. Continue with my story. If the Lord is on your side, it is recorded in the Bible, things will just unfold for you. And also remember to be a prayer warrior. Pray. Because I'm also working in a book that is, if you want to be what you want, you can be if you want. So that is a book that I'm writing, and I'm challenging you wherever you are. If you want to be what you want, it doesn't matter. You will be wherever you are. Right now, without any fear of contradiction, there's a ministry that I'm leading, and I'm happy that people, wherever we go, we see people turning to Christ because we train them. Because also me, I was trained by Life Ministry Kenya. I was trained with the education that I've acquired. I want to see a transformation taking place to the people, the young, my age mate, my oldies, just transformation to take place in their lives. You can be educated, but there is no transformation. So that is my prayer as we continue and journey with this journey of Jehovah God that called us into the ministry. The cobbler business, it was a good business, and it used to pay my rent. But what happened to this business was that I used to love missions a lot, even to date. So after bringing in souls, ngozi ya kushona hizo, the whatever, to make that shoe come out well, I used to trust them, the two of them, and I gave one to be the supervisor. But now they started stealing the business. So what did I do? I said, now, when I went for a mission in Kilifi. Coming back, I found the shoes that we had made, around 20 pairs. One each was going for 850. They had sold around 15, but they could not account for the monies. So I said, now, guys, we cannot do it this way. And in that business, there are also these mbaos that you put in. I don't know how they are called in English. They are put in to bring it, to design it well. They had sold some of them. And one mbao, plastic one, used to go for 1,000. So they had sold, like, because they go with the numbers, they had sold like 6 of them. So this business, they wanted to finish it. So I decided, now, let me stop, because by that time I had gotten something to do to sustain me. Because remember, in our printing, I had not left the printing at church that time, because during the cobbler time I had not been employed by CITAM. So I decided to close it. But this business is still in my heart. One day, you will see it coming back. My father being an economist did not help us. Let me just say that, because he did not do any work that transformed his family. He did not do any work, because he was, even today, not drinking much, but those years when we were growing up, he was a great drunkard. But I think by my prayers, the drinking started to, I can't say that he stopped it completely, but he can go without it for 1 month, 2 months. But sometimes with friends, he can go back. So his economy now is aged, around 60, 70 years. He is not working, he cannot be employed anywhere. Because during that time, with the economy from Makerere, he used to say, I cannot be a chief of the village, I cannot be, he used to be choosy. And now, the siblings became my responsibility. But I thank God, because out of them, the one that I said by follow was a lady and passed on. I really struggled and trained her as a tailor come a designer. So she was doing her things alone somewhere in Siaya. The second one, who is also a lady, yes, I trained her. She loved the work that my other sibling was doing. I trained her in that line. Let me tell you, in our house, I'm the one who have reached where I am today. Others left in Form 1, Form 2. The farthest one went was Form 3. No one did KCSE. So the third one is a boy. He's a mechanic. And he started doing it. Now he's stable doing it, Juakali. But that's what I could afford by then. But they're living well. The other ones, there is one who is a masonry at home. There is another one who is an electronic Juakali. But they're doing well. They are both married now. And we thank God. I count myself blessed one, because serving under 3 great men of God, Bishop Adoyo, a man that I can say through his wife, put some discipline in me. The discipline that I have, the integrity, the love of people, came from Sister Eda Adoyo. She's a tough lady, as I have said, but you can love working with her. And together with the husband, Bishop Adoyo, even today when we meet, he just calls me my son and embraces me. I love that. I call myself like Daniel of old in the Bible. Daniel served under many kings. If you read Daniel around chapter 2 and to 6, around there, 6, 7, you will find how Daniel was serving under this great man. Bishop Oginde brought exposure to me. A great man, his leadership style. And no wonder when he was leaving, I said some words, good words, and I described him with his initial. Oginde David Daktari is a great man. He's transformed me through leadership, through my education. I can't tell it all. But really, one day I say I'll be Archbishop after serving with the 3 bishops. The current one, a father, a family man. He loves family. He is open. He plans. I just love working with these men. And I thank God. I can't take it for granted.
His advice to people who are involved in service in the church is,
doing ministry, it is, I say it can be predestined by God. Before you were born, like Jeremiah of old, doing ministry is not something that you can choose to do. It is God's, God allows you to do it. So when you find yourself in the ministry mentioned above, like ushering, worship, instrument, playing guitar, anything that you do in church, do it as if you will not do it, or you will not find a chance to do it any day. And know that you're doing unto the Lord, not to the pastor, not to anybody else. But there is a great reward. Me, I've seen it. I've done ministry without any pay. Sometimes you go for mission, no food, nothing. But today, here I am. I'm about to now graduate and even become a doctor in ministry, serving God. So when doing ministry, do it. Know that you're doing unto the Lord, not to men. Serve wholeheartedly, and the Lord will surely, richly bless you. Amen.
Thank you for joining us on Testify. Join us next week for another uplifting testimony.